All right, students, we are going to work through add and subtract fractions. That was originally given to you on para assessment, and then I handed you a paper copy recently. Add and subtract fractions. When I'm working problems, I like to use graph paper because that helps me keep everything in line. But if you have notebook paper so that you can work out your problems, that's absolutely fine. Problem number 1 says 4/7 plus 5 1/2. So I'm going to write that down as 4/7 plus 5 1/2. Okay, now I cannot add these as they are right now. 7 and 2 don't match. When I add or subtract fractions, my denominators have to be the same. So I need to find the least common multiple of 7 and 2 in order to be able to solve this problem. So my multiples of 7 are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. And I find that 5 usually is enough to help me find the least common multiple. Sometimes I need more. So let's find out if that was enough. My multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Haven't found a match yet, so I'm going to keep going. 12, 14, there's my match. I need to turn a 7 into 14 and a 2 into 14. So that's 7 times 2, and that's 2 times 7. When I change my denominators, I have to change my numerator by the same factor. So this 4 is also going to get multiplied by 2, and this 1 is also going to get multiplied by 7. At this point, I've got a mess, so I need to rewrite this. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. The 5 stays the same. 1 times 7 is 7. And 2 times 7 is 14. So when we add all of that together, 8 and 7 make 15. Denominator stays the same. Nothing plus 5 is 5. Now if I stop here, I'll get 90% of my points. But I want 100% of my points. So I can't leave this fraction improper. Remember, an improper fraction has a bigger numerator than denominator. Okay, so how do I fix it? I'm going to have to use long division. Okay, so I'm going to make a little division bracket right here. My top number, my numerator, always goes inside the division bracket. And my bottom number, the denominator, always goes on the outside. 14 won't fit into 1, but it'll fit into 15 one time. 14 times 1 is 14. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So my quotient is 1, but I need to add my whole number to that. Okay, and so that's going to give me 6 and 1/14. 6 and 1/14. Let's look at number 2 now. Number 2 is a subtraction problem. Number 2 says 3 1/4 minus 2 3/5. I can't subtract these because my denominators aren't the same. I'm going to have to find the least common multiple of 4 and 5. You'll want to make sure you have this written down because I believe it shows up again. Let me look. Yes, it shows up again on number 10. So if you write down your least common multiple here, you won't have to do it again when you do number 10. Okay, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I'm going to pause there. For 5s, that's 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't have to go on. So I need to turn 4 into 20, I multiply it by 5. I need to turn 5 into 20, I multiply it by 4. I need to change my numerator by the same factor that I changed my denominator. So that's 1 times 5 and 3 times 4. I don't mess with the whole numbers. They're fine how they are. Let's rewrite this problem. 3 minus 2. 1 times 5 is 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. 5 times 4 is 20. Yuck. I can't subtract because my numerator is bigger than this numerator. My bottom numerator is bigger than my top numerator. So just like when you subtract normally, you're going to have to regroup or borrow. Okay? How do I do that? I'm going to borrow from this 3. It goes down to a 2, and then I'm going to add a whole number fraction to my original fraction. So I'm going to take that 20 and put it on top of itself. So now my fraction is going to be 2, and 5 plus 20 is 25. Denominator stays the same. Minus 2 and 12 20ths. And now I can subtract. 25 minus 12. Well, 25 minus 10 would be 15. Minus 2 more would be 13. So I get 13 over 20 because my denominator stays the same. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. So my answer is 13 20ths. Let's do number 3 now. Number 3 is kind of interesting. Okay. Number 3, we have a whole number. We have 8 minus 1 and 5/6. Now this kind of problem is my favorite because I get to make up my own fraction. Okay, so I can't take 5/6 away from nothing. I can't subtract this from 0 because this is bigger than 0. So just like we did on number 2, we're going to have to borrow. That 8 is going to go down to a 7, and then I'm going to make a whole number fraction, and I'm going to use this denominator as my whole number fraction. So then that way I don't have to find the least common multiple. I can just jump right into subtracting. 6 minus 5 is 1, and the denominator stays the same, so the denominator is 6. 7 minus 1 is 6. So my final answer is 6 1/6. Awesome. I'm all done. I want you to attempt 4 through 8 on your own. The strategies that I showed you in 1 through 3 should be enough to help you finish 4 through 8 on your own, but I will talk you through the word problem. Jacob ran 1 5/8 miles on Monday and 2 1/2 miles on Tuesday. How many total miles did Jacob run? So our important numbers are 1 5/8 and 2 1/2. Our question is, how many total miles did Jacob run? Our math action words are how many total. This tells me that I need to add these two numbers together to get the answer for this question. When you're finding how many total of something, you're adding. So let's write that problem down. And remember, this is problem number 9. Let's do it right here. We have 1 5/8 plus 2 1/2. My denominators don't match, so I have to find the least common multiple. My multiples of, let's start with 2 actually, and I'll show you why. Our multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I listed 5, so I'm going to stop. And now our multiples of 8 are 8, and do I need to keep going? No, because 8 shows up in both lists of multiples. So the least common multiple is 8. That means I don't have to change my top fraction at all. I only need to change the bottom fraction because the top one is already an 8. How do I turn 2 into an 8? I have to multiply it by 4. Since I'm multiplying the denominator by 4, I also have to multiply the numerator by 4. So my new fraction looks like this. 1 5/8 plus 2 and 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. From here, I want you to add these on your own. You will get an improper fraction. So if you leave it improper, you'll get 90% of your points. If you want 100% of your points, you'll need to use long division like you did in problem number 1. Let's look at the other word problem now. Problem number 10. Jacob's goal is to run 10 3/4 miles each week. If he ran 8 1/5 miles so far, how many more miles does Jacob need to run to reach his goal? So my important numbers are 10 3/4 and 8 1/5. I almost said the wrong number. My question is, how many more miles does Jacob need to run to reach his goal? Whenever I have a question like how many more, how many less, how much brighter, how much darker, how much farther, how much shorter, those kinds of questions are always subtraction questions. You're comparing the two numbers and finding the difference between them. Difference means subtract. So let's write down these numbers. Let's see, that was 10 3/4 minus 8 1/5. Now, if you wrote down your least common multiple on question number 2, then you already know how you need to change these denominators. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and start solving the problem. I've given you all the tools you need to succeed. Now go.